The person that I interviewed for this cultural experience, her name is Daniela, and she is a student here at Northwestern who lives in Antioch. I met her accidentally. I went to Antioch to interview someone else, but it turns out that someone from our class had already interviewed her. So I walked down the hall and knocked on doors and asked other students if I could interview them for this project. Daniela has been living in the States for 5 months now. She's originally from Quito, Ecuador, where she did all of her elementary and high school schooling and came here to Northwestern 5 months ago and has been living here ever since. Probably the main difference that I noticed in teaching styles here in America and hearing her stories about schooling in Ecuador would be the roles of teacher and student. For example, here in America, the teacher is available and ready to help the student, but here in America it's more individualistic in that if the student is wanting to learn, the student is going to have to work at it and learn. Not that you don't work at it in Ecuador, but it's more individualistic and like, I'm going to do this, I'm the student, I'm here to learn, I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps in a sense and learn things for myself, whereas the teacher is there, but more as a guide. Whereas in Ecuador, she was talking about how the relationship was more as a partnership, more so than it is here in America. So that was the major difference. Some takeaways from this interview that I hope to apply to my own teaching styles would be the emphasis on personal testimony in Bible study. Daniela talked about how she loved going through the text of the Bible and learning deeper things in that way of reading through verses, but she said it's a lot more helpful in your walk as a Christian to hear testimonies of people's life struggles and how the Lord has got them through it, because seeing the person's struggle and then seeing how they've overcome points back to Jesus, and then it makes it easier if you're going through a similar situation to know that there is hope because God has gotten them through that situation so he can get you through it. A second takeaway would be the humility aspect of being a teacher and going into it knowing that, yes, I have a lot of knowledge about this topic, but I can learn just as much from my students as they can learn from me, and being willing to have that give and take relationship between the teacher and the student. Those are the major things that I learned.